We get the cake right to the side sex. Leave the fire and the blue stars stuck on it. Grind like we're chasing the stars. For more to do, finally we've come so far. Talk about legends, yeah, we know the score. Ronnie and Bobby, we remember you more. From the highs of the Wembley fight to losing our trousers, still we ignite. Red and white with the pride, we're never gonna bow. Fighting like middlemen, hear the roar now. We're middlemen, we stand up tall. Through ups and downs, we give it all. For more to do.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Midweek Millers on your number one Rotherham United podcast, KB Terrace Talk Millers edition. I know Rotherham aren't turning up at the minute, but we are still here every Monday, every Thursday, every after-match reaction, and we will continue to be here as well. At the minute, I've only got one guest at the minute, and that is Tom. How you doing, Tom?
Yeah, I'm okay, Bez. I'm okay. I feared that this would come where we have to put out shows where we talk about our team no longer being League One status, as it were. But do you know what? Look, we're fans. We're not just going to give up just because they've been relegated. We're going to talk, hopefully to the future and see, what's going to happen. Bez, are you okay, mate? Because I know we're both massive. Obviously, we're both Rotherham United fans. We live and breathe the club, but I would argue you live and breathe it more than me, my friend. So, are you okay, mate?
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, one thing I would say is the relegation has probably been coming for 2 or 3 months at least. Like, obviously, at the start of the season, I weren't expecting it, and even when we were struggling under Hampshire, like at Christmas, I weren't expecting it. But I think, March or February onwards, I think there's only ever been one outcome, and that was relegation. So I think I'm almost relieved a little bit that it's just over and done with. The remaining 4 or 5 games are going to be tough. I'm not going to lie. I mean, whether I go to any of them, I don't know. I'll decide on the day. But it isn't nice. I mean, the fact that we've relegated from League One with still 4 games to go, I think is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I could have at least gone to last game. I mean, what are we on? I think we're on 37 points. That's an absolute disgrace, really. Anyway, so I've got Tom with me. I am expecting Tiny to come on. Again, as I said, kind of on Monday, he does try and join when he can, but I think he's relying on Rotherham public transport, which we've already said it's not very good. Loads to talk about still, obviously. We've got Wigan to talk about, although we'll not go into too much detail, I don't think, this time round, because we're repeating ourselves a lot. We'll talk about the relegation. We'll talk about what went wrong. We'll discuss some rumours, and we'll also quickly preview our next game, which is Leyton Orient. And speak of the devil, and he shall arrive. And there he is, Tiny.
Late as ever. Late as always.
Are you all right, mate?
I'm all right, to be fair, after seeing the news today, potentially. It's made me feel a lot better. But yeah, we'll talk about that in the show, I'm guessing.
We'll do, yeah, you're right, yeah. So, a few comments. Rotherham game, evening, lads. Yeah, evening. Rotherham game, hope you're well. John Sullivan, evening, lads. Evening, John. John again. Is Bez that red from anger or just red from relegation lights? Yeah, relegation lights, I think, John. I think because, as we've just said, because the relegation has been on the cards for at least a couple of months, it's more relief for me that it's finally happened. Pete Scott, sorry I couldn't make it out, lads. I've said for months about this time. Worst team I've seen in my lifetime. Credit to Clark for calling them out. John Sullivan, only 2 more home games, and then, yeah, a bit of a funny face. Right, Craig as well, just in time. Evening, lads. So where does the club go now? And we will ask that question in a minute, Craig, so bear with me.
Just a quick scores on the doors. A team that are showing fight, a team that were dead and buried. Port Vale are 2-0 up at Peterborough. They're gone, but fair play, they're not giving up.
And again, it's like I said actually on the Monday show, the frustration about Rotherham is that every club who's down there and they're about to get relegated, they do tend to fight. Even Northampton. I know Northampton lost in the end.
Yeah, they were good. They were good last night.
They were really working hard, and they only lost the game to a world-class goal.
Tom Eves were absolutely unreal. Like, he were unplayable last night. Luton back line were struggling to handle him at times. Like, he were a real threat up there, and that is a player we obviously released. Well, pretty much released him, didn't we? At end at Championship to bring in Clark Harris. To be fair play to that lad. Fair play. I've always said he's always a threat. He didn't have best of times with us, but he's always a threat. That was a good thing about him.
Yeah. So let's quickly talk about Wigan. So obviously, Tiny, you were there at Wigan, I believe. So I know it's difficult, and you're probably going to repeat yourself. But what were your thoughts on the game against Wigan?
Very one-sided, one-way traffic. It was a poor effort. There were no fight. No desire. Not like we were going to get relegated either way, but we could have at least gone into that game with a bit of fight. At least, but players just didn't look bothered one bit. And then you've got Sam Nombe laughing at full time with Joe Ungbo, which really wound me up. That proper wound me up, because he's meant to be this big £1 million player. I've said it time and time again. He's sent us down pretty much. He is our key player. He's our star man, meant to be, and he just didn't look arse. Then he stood there laughing at full time. Sums him up, really.
I mean, I didn't see that myself, obviously, but we're watching it on TV. So I'd say that is pretty poor, to be fair. And it's one of the reasons why I didn't really want to go, because when you are going down, there are little things that can wind you up, and that's something that would have wound me up as well. Tom, I'm not going to ask you about Wigan, because again, you're just going to say the same thing that you said all season. So what I'm going to ask you is, so we're finally relegated. As I said already, it's been on the cards for a couple of months, to be fair, let's face it. Even when Clark came in, we all said it was probably a bit too late for him to kind of change anything. So my question to you is, what has gone wrong at Rotherham United? Like, what is the main thing? And it could be a number of things, but what's the main thing why Rotherham United are now a League Two club? What's happened?
My belief is what they did. I think they thought that Matt Hamshaw was Paul Warne Mark II, and they just had that blind faith that must just happen. We stumbled across Paul Warne, who was a fitness coach, and then we had Matt Hamshaw, who worked under Paul Warne. Surely that's the answer, but it's a loaded question, Bez, because there's lots of other things.
Yeah.
I read something today. I think it was from the Brains Trust at the Advertiser. They put out saying that Lee Clark has said that the club doctor has informed him that the injuries are 200% worse than any other club in the whole of the EFL. So I think we've all been calling it out all season regarding our fitness and standards and obviously rehabilitation, blah blah blah, and we are by far the worst in the EFL by a country mile. So injuries, I think a board that's sleeping, just sleepwalked into this. I don't think Tony Stewart helped himself putting that statement out yesterday after the relegation. He should have been more proactive many months ago. The wrong appointments, sacking managers at the wrong time. The list goes on. It has been an absolute disaster for the last 3 years, to be honest with you. 4 years, you can argue.
Let me ask you this then, Tom. So, obviously, if you obviously ignore last season, the last 3 occasions we've been relegated to the League One, right? Every single time we've gone straight back up, right? So, and that was under a manager who, to be fair, had no experience. And I get what you just said there. The board obviously thought that Matt Hanshaw was going to be the new Paul Ward. Okay, and obviously it's not worked out like that. But in your opinion, what's the biggest difference between Paul Warne when he was managing the team and they were winning every week and they were going to get top two to what's happened now? Like, what do you think's like? What's changed in those kind of 3 years?
Well, I think with Paul Warne, everyone knew on the coaching staff what their job was. Paul Warne will tell you he's not a tactician. He's not. Yeah. He's not a tactician. He's a man motivator. He's a good human being, and he recruited good human beings. Richie Barker, we all know, was the tactician. And then, yeah, Matt Hanshaw, I'm sure, is a very competent coach. He was there along with Andy Warrington. That foursome just worked for us. And then with the recruitment side of things, it just worked. But the changes, obviously Warney went to Derby County. More money, of course you're going to go. I think he probably took us as far as he could potentially could. And yes, he's going to take all his coaching staff, which is why I always say, Matt Hanshaw, this big Rotherham United fan, why did he bugger off with him, right? Look, I don't know what the ins and outs are of that. We appoint Matt Taylor. Matt Taylor keeps us up in the league, but then again, you can say Paul Ward probably had a hand in that because I was at the with my little girl. Was it Watford, Rotherham v Watford, where we drew 1-1? I think Richard Wood scored pretty early, didn't he? I mean, I think we scored enough points for that point. Yeah. He does the whole celebration, doesn't he? We scored enough points for that point to have a really good chance of staying in that league. And we did make hard work of it. Let's make no odds about it. Did we win one away game that season, Sheffield United?
We won 2, didn't we, away? I'll tell you what, we won 2. Yeah, I want you to, don't help him, Tiny, if you know. I want you to try and guess who the other win was, because we 100% won 2 away games. I'll tell you what, Tom. Have a think, right? And don't you cheat and go online, and I'll just ask Tiny a question. So Tiny, when the full-time whistle went on Tuesday, again, you were there, what was your, instant reaction? Because I have seen videos, and I watched it, and there were fans clapping the players. Now, I'm assuming you were very angry about that. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, I couldn't speak at full time. I just stood there. I just stood on the stairs looking at players, staring them in eyes. Quite creepy if you think about it. But I just thought, and I was going like that, as if, what's going on, lads? What's going on? What's happened?
Did they play do that? Did they play they cut to you and they'll go, no. I'm sorry. Did they do that?
Nah, I tell you what, one lad who I will give credit to, Ted Can, at full time he collapsed to the ground and put his hands in his head. Put his head in his hands. And he just laid on ground for about 5-10 minutes with hands over head. And he was only one who looked like he was bothered, because I'm presuming he'd have felt guilt because he let 3 in, but end of the day, some of them you couldn't really do out about. They were good goals, to be honest. First one came from awful defending. Second one were Joe Taylor, a quality striker, to be fair. I disagree with celebration, though, coming in front of Rotherham fans, picking a ball up, kissing it, and then hitting it into Rotherham end, rubbing it in a bit. But third as well, that one Can's fault. None of them were Can's fault, to be fair. But yeah, a Wigan fan actually messaged me after the game and said it were appalling how none of your players actually went over to you properly. None of them came over because none of them could face the music. They were probably scared. I will look at him. I swear, a few of them stood there for about 10 seconds, did a couple of claps, and walked off. Lee Clark, I can't remember seeing him come over. Only one who did come over were Richard Wood, coaching staff, and did a full I say full lap, just went round clapping away and then holding his hands up. But yeah, other than that, I can't recall anyone else actually looking asked about it. They were, if anything, they looked quite normal to say they'd just played like that and got relegated to the 4th division. But yeah, it was mental, really.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good at
How far
all.
we took.
Yeah. So Tom, just before I
There will be
comment,
nothing summer.
did you find out who the second team was we beat?
Yeah, because Russ has put it in the comments. It was Stoke City and
Cheating. See, I can't see them. Yeah, it was Stoke. Yeah, Ollie Raffo scored after about 2 minutes.
Did Johansson have the game of his life?
He did. Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. Russ knows his football.
He does, yeah. Russ has thrown that for me. Let's be some comments. Will Flays do a laugh of one at the end of the season, and if so, why?
I think tell you what, I hope not. No,
well,
I hope they don't. No.
They will do, because when they've Rotherham relegated before, they've done it, though. So they will do it.
This is different.
I won't be there.
This is different. No. If they do a lap of the pitch, it's taking the piss, in my opinion, because they couldn't even run up the pitch. No man walk around it. So
yeah, just about to say that.
Fair enough. Ross, evening Tom Bears. I mean, look at Tiny Wally with the brawler. So we will talk about that, Russ, in a minute. Up the Millers, lads. Yeah, anyway, evening, Russ. Hope you're okay. Wayne, what the problem is Tony Stewart and Tom. Is the issue just that Tony Stewart? Is that it?
No.
If we're going to go straight back up. No,
it's not. No, it's not. Tony Stewart is not the sole issue. Let's make no mistake about it. He's not the sole issue. He is one of the issues. But
what was Tom? What was your opinion of what he said then in his note? Let's talk about that.
What his opinion was. I mean, the fact that he mentioned winning 7-2 in the Virgin Trophy.
I know he did. He did. Yeah.
And beating Lincoln, who've gone up at a canter. I mean, come on, we're better than that. And yeah, a full thing of the of the whole thing. That shouldn't have been happening now. That should have happened in all them bloody weeks we had off in December and January. They should be looking at all that then, not now. But listen, if rumours are to be believed, which we will come on to now, that quick post-mortem has only took 24 hours. So
yeah, I have to say that is worrying to me. Yeah, so let's just read some more comments. So yeah, Ross obviously that meant to say Stoke City. Johnny talks Bushy off to the Overlaps report on Man U. Seeing it today. Interesting rumours. Russ, 1-0. Bushy out gone to Man U with Mark. Samantha Carr has Bushy left for the Overlap. Wow, there's some big rumours here. I can wholeheartedly tell everyone that Lee Bush has not left Duke KV Terrace Talk, and he's still under contract at this club. Okay, he's going nowhere. It take a lot of money for the Overlap to buy Lee Bush. I'm telling you now. Right.
We've had a few offers from a few OnlyFans models, but that's about it.
Yeah.
There were no offers really.
Peter Scott, the players are disgrace. I'd be happy if we got rid of the lot. No fashion, no fight, don't care about the club yet. Completely agree. Nina, Russ, get yourself on. And I think Russ is good, actually.
Russ is our top fan. Top fan.
He is, yeah. I think he has actually been on, like I said. Right, rumours, rumour mill. Now, I have to say, obviously, Lee's posted a lot of these from his source, and he does tend to get a lot right. Now, we'll start with the director of football. I'll come to you, Tiny Face. So the rumour is, for anyone who doesn't know, Steve McLaren, the ex-England manager, will be appointed as Rotherham's new director of football. Now, my opinion, quickly, if that's true, I actually think that's a brilliant appointment, personally. I think he's got the experience. I always find him quite stylish. The way he likes to play football when he was at Derby was really attractive, attacking, passing, which I like. So to me, if that rumour is true, then that's a fantastic appointment. Tiny, number one, do you believe the rumour? And number two, if McLaren did come in, what's your thoughts on that appointment?
Before I answer that one, I've just thought of something from Tuesday. Really interesting one, actually. There was a Barnet scout in the away end, scouting a few Rotherham players, and he said the only one who looked half decent were Dan Gore. He said they won't even bat an eyelid on any at rest. But yeah, enough of that. Says it all. But on to your questions now.
Yeah.
To be fair, strong rumours. Came from same place that said Lee Clark were going to be manager a couple of hours before he got appointed. So I do believe it, to be honest. And secondly, I think it would be a good appointment because hopefully, fingers crossed, Rob Scott is out of the club. Fingers crossed. You can hope and pray that that's Rob Scott gone.
I think you'll find that McLaren will work with Rob Scott. So Rob Scott will be what is he at the minute? He's
head of recruitment.
Yeah, he won't be afraid. So he will stay head of recruitment. Yeah. So unfortunately, I don't want to dampen your spirits, but Rob Scott will stay at the club. What's your thoughts on that, Tiny?
I think he should have been gone ages ago, Rob Scott, personally. It's been a stain.
I have to say, because I look at Rob Scott, and I kind of mentioned this a while ago, 6 months ago, and the issue with Rob Scott and anyone in that position is that you can't prove if they're doing a good job or a bad job, because if Rob Scott brings in a player who's good, right, and the player looks rubbish, let's say Denzel Hall, he's brought Denzel Hall in, and let's say he looks rubbish on the pitch, all Rob Scott would say, I brought this player in and you're not playing him in right position, or you're not playing him right. So he's always got a point. Now, I actually think that Rob Scott's done an okay job, personally. I think he's
he got a Benny, didn't he?
Exactly, yeah. So I actually think Rob Scott is Sunday. I think Scott's one of the positives, to be honest with you, in the club. What are your thoughts on Rob Scott?
I mean, when did Rob Scott join us? When did he join us? What year?
Is he in the club a long time? A long time.
No, obviously I remember him as a player. Obviously.
Well, no, he's been a member of staff for like a good 6-7 years.
Well, if you think about that 6-7 years, let's go back 7 years. 2019. He found Ogbene. He found who else? Ogbene.
Olasunde. He was all right.
I hate Olasunde, mate.
What happened?
I hated him. Yeah, like he was one of my worst ever players. Honestly, I hated him on Sunday.
Oh, fair enough. He found Crooks. He found Barlasser.
A Dolphin.
There you go,
You can argue. A Dolphin.
Yeah.
You can argue.
To be fair, he's probably just having a bad patch, really, isn't he, with signings. But everyone goes through a bad patch, don't they? He's had a few years of bringing in all these hidden talents. He's probably trying to find similar, but it's failed this time. But, I mean, hopefully we can find some good prospects for next season in League Two.
Well, you say that, Tiny, actually. I'm gonna stop there, actually, right? So this season hasn't worked, we can all agree. Like last season didn't work, but at least last season they were never looking like going down. And what the difference between this season and last season is the fact that Rotherham have decided to bring in young players, and they've also touched on bringing players from abroad. Now, I was going to ask this question. I'll ask you now, Tiny, actually, and I'll ask Tom you the same question. So, bear in mind that we know that we've brought in youngsters and it's failed miserably. How do you want Rotherham to approach next season with regards to recruitment? Do you want them to bring in youngsters like they have done? Do you want them to bring a mix of youngsters and experience? Or would you rather just bring in players who we know can get you out of League Two? Like, what would you do, Tyner?
Players that can get us out of League Two, because this is a league that you do not want to be stuck in. And to be fair, a standout player on that list for me would be Michael Cheek from Bromley. Look, he's had a great season. He's hit about 25 goals in Annie this year, something like that. Anyway, some mad numbers. He's been consistent for a few years. All right, he'll probably want to go League One with Bromley and potentially have a few League One offers elsewhere next year, but that'd be a number one key signing, and that'd be a key.
Wow. Well, they're up, Bromley.
Yeah,
Bromley wins today. They're up, aren't they?
Yeah, I've got game on behind me. Trying to listen, trying to like turn around every few minutes to have a peek, but it's 0-0 at minute. But now enough of that one. Secondly, what were I gonna say? Forgot now. I had a really good point there.
Like recruitment.
Talking about. That were it. Last season in League One, why we stayed up, we also had a good manager, better manager than what we had at the start of this season. All right, we had a poor season, but the reason we didn't go down was because Steve Evans, if you cut him open, I reckon he'd bleed Rotherham United, wouldn't he? He was passionate about club. Reason why he got sacked was because it went wrong and he called players out and fans didn't like that. And that's why I think Lee Clark won't last too long here, because if we have a bad run in League Two, he'll start. He's not afraid, is he, to name and shame. So if we have a bad run next year in League Two, he'll start calling them out, which is good on him. I like that. But some fans don't, and it's that certain percentage of fans that have the say, really, that can boost up the getting him out. But yeah, I think we should stick with him. I've seen it. You know what? Passion's there for Lee Clark. It's a bit like Evans. We're in a bad place. All right, he would give 9 games, wanted to save us, which most of them were against top 6 teams, really, other than Port Vale and Wigan, and Barnsley. But I think this run in here were tough anyway, so he didn't really stand a chance. So we'll stick with him next year. We'll see where it goes. Give him a budget in summer if we can afford it, and see what happens. See who we can bring in, because I think he'll have some contacts in being ex Newcastle, ex Sunderland, that region. He'll have some good contacts up there. So who knows?
I'll be honest, Tiny. We've kind of moved conversation on, so I will go with it. I'll be honest, Tiny. I don't want Lee Clark managing this football club. And
yeah,
Tom, I'll ask yourself, Tom. And the reason I don't want him is because, look, he's coming. He got given 8 games, 9 games, whatever it is. Yes, some of them were against Lincoln and close to the top. A lot of them were in the bottom 8 as well. You know, like you said, Port Vale, Barnsley, etc. It's something to do with the team who they're playing against. I think an half-decent manager would have got something out of these players, whether that be they work harder, whether that be score more goals, whether it be they concede less. You know, one of those 4, if you like, and for me, he's done none. They still concede a lot. They still look awful defensively. They seem like they've not been given any confidence. You know, like a Neil Warnock comes in and he says to Lenny Agbear, Lenny, you're not best player in this league. You're not best player in this league. You're not best player in Championship. And we all know it's rubbish, but he says that. And because of the way he says it, Lenny Agbear believes it and he goes out and performs. So, Tom, I'm going to come to you. The rumour is that Lee Clark is going to stay, which I'll just said it. I'd be upset and angry if he did. Now, I'll be honest, he does deserve, before the comments that will go up there, he does deserve a chance. I'm not saying that. But the reason I don't want him is because of what I've just said. I've seen nothing in these 4 or 5 games, whatever he's done, which warrants anything from him. Like, I don't see what he does tactically. Yes, he had that one interview where he's shown a little bit of passion. But let's face it, anyone who shows a little bit of passion is a lot more than the previous manager. So it could have been anyone. It could have been Matt Taylor, who didn't really show a lot of passion. He still showed more than Hampshire. So your thoughts, Tom? Do you believe that Clark will be here? Number 2, do you want him at the club?
To answer the question, Dave, yes, I believe Matt Clark will. Matt Clark.
I take it, Matt Clark.
Lee Clark will be the manager. Yes, I fully believe that is going to happen. Next question, do I want him as manager? I said the other night no. However, I agree with everything that he said. He's got the absolute balls to say it. I believe the board also believe what he's saying. He made a comment, and not all of us will agree with it, saying that these players cost a man who loves this club more than anything his job. Yeah. Do I think Matt Hampshire loved that club more than anything? No, I don't. But you know what? I'm looking at the pool of managers, and do you know what, Bez? I'm going to give him a kick of the ball in League 2. I am.
Okay.
I wouldn't be upset if he was the manager.
You would be upset. Sorry, you wouldn't be upset.
No, I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't kick the dog. Not that I own one.
Right. Just remember as well. Just remember that this appointment. Sorry, is probably going to be one of Rotherham's biggest appointments of their entire history. Because if they get it wrong, they're going down to National League. So with that in mind, are you still happy with Lee Clark then, Tom?
Yeah, because I'm not of the opinion that we will ever go to the National League, personally.
Right. Okay.
Personally.
Right, some comments then. Nina, is this your mum, Tiny, is it, Nina?
Yeah.
Okay. I said to Tiny earlier that the players who are filled in sick need to be named as they generally injured, or they generally injured players are being put in a box with all of them. Yeah, and Nina, I agree. I mean, it's a bit of a disgrace, really. Players folded in sick. I mean, I've never heard that before. I mean, players who get cold or they're ill or whatever normally just carry on playing, don't they? So the fact that they've got a tummy bug or a sore throat and they're not playing is ridiculous. Pete Scott, I've been told that Tony's in talks to sell only half of the club to the consortium. And yeah, it's another rumour. I mean, I heard a rumour somewhere that they were selling the club to, was it someone from Switzerland? That's what I heard. There's loads of rumours flying around. The problem is, we all know that Lee Rush is in the know, and he's been told that Stewart is going nowhere. So I kind of am sticking with what Lee's saying because he normally gets it right. Sean Gennard, happy 40th for tomorrow, Tom. I think he's got it wrong there. You've got a 4 instead of a 5 there, Sean. We'll let you off, don't worry. Just joking, Tom. Happy 40th for tomorrow, Tom. This has to be the most spineless relegation fight in history. Not scored an away goal since Jan. What the hell is going on with our beloved football club? And Sean, you're absolutely right. And I think that's the frustration. If we'd have gone down fighting, people can take it. But the way they've gone down is disgrace. Go on then, Tom. You was going to say something, weren't you then?
No, Sean, Tiny, that's your dad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Sean, thanks so much, mate. I've got absolutely nothing planned. I'm working. So yeah, and my family hate me. So I'll probably be on a podcast for KB Terrace Talk tomorrow. So tune in.
I have to say, you live on this podcast, don't you, Tom? I think you don't live in your house anymore. You live on the podcast, don't you? Yeah, Nina, be a great appointment. I'm not sure who. I think that must be to do with Lee Clark. Kelly Forbos, SM was at the game on Saturday. Yeah, I kind of got that, Kelly. Obviously, you and Adam were kind of trying to say something on Tuesday's stream, and I had no idea what you were talking about. And then someone mentioned today that it was Stephen McLaren. And as I said, I think if that's right, it will be a good appointment.
Was he at the game? Was it?
Apparently so. Can't you remember where, they were, Kelly and Tom were like, not Tom, sorry, Kelly and Adam were in the comments were saying that there was someone there and we did no idea what they were talking about, and that's what they're on about. They were Steve
I thought it was Neil Warnock they're on about. They're on about Neil Warnock.
That was a joke. I think that was a joke, that one.
Right. Yeah. Right, fair enough.
Nina, how could you afford him? Surely you won't come cheap. I'm not sure who that is. Is that? I think that's Michael Cheek. I think she's on about.
No. It's Steve McLaren. Steve McLaren she's on about.
Steve McLaren.
Yeah, Steve McLaren. Yeah. To be fair, he obviously he would cost a high wage, Nina, but he's not going to cost anything in terms of like a fee, at least. Shelley, evening lads, onwards, upwards, now next season. Try to forget about this absolute show I've watched this season. Yeah, evening, Shelley. Sean, does anyone know what's happened to Ben Hatton? Is he still at the club? As he's gone off the radar? This would be an ideal time to give him some game time in the last four. Sean, I don't know what's happened to him. What I would say, and this is from what I've seen of him as well, look, he's probably not good enough to get in the side. I think the reason why that young lad got in the side on Tuesday was he must have shown something in training. And to be fair to him, he looked relatively comfortable in possession on Tuesday. I mean, you were there, Tiny. What were your thoughts on that young lad, Kevin Lee? Or did you not really notice him?
Firstly, he were in squad because apparently under 18s played against first team in a friendly at Roundwood. I believe so, a few weeks ago, and apparently he ripped our first team to pieces. So Lee Clark put him in the squad for these few games. And then secondly, to be fair, he showed some promising signs, but again, he's been thrown in a bit, hasn't he? So he's not going to come out at blocks flying. At end of the day, it's Rotherham United's academy, not like Man United's, is it? So it's going to take a bit of time for him to settle in. Note against him, he showed a bit. He showed a bit of fight. He had something about him anyway, I believe. Could be one for the future, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Be a surprise package potentially.
Well, one thing I would say is, I am hoping that not necessarily just in these next 4 games, but because we've gone down to League Two, I actually am hoping they do give some of our youngsters a chance. I've said before on here that Harrison Duncan looks a good prospect for me, and the striker, I think it's Dean Gordon, I think he looks good as well. So hopefully they get a couple of games in. Russ, I'd sooner Stewart not come out with bullshit, letter to an insult, not meant, and he don't give a crap deep down. Went hiding for a long time, although I appreciate his personal flaws, family-wise, but all the same, comes out trying to smooth it all over. Yes, Dean Gill. Yeah, and Russ, I have to say I agree. I mean, I would say that he's done it because he had to do it. I think if you've got a choice of do I send the letter out or do I not, I think the latter of those two would have been even worse. So I think he had to, he had to say something. Whatever he would have said, probably fans would have took the wrong way because it's been an horrendous season. So to be fair to Stewart, I actually think it was a no-win situation. I agree. It doesn't help that he's not spoke for 2 years. That is ridiculous. And he should have done. When they went down from the championship, I'm not sure if he sent a letter out then, for argument's sake. He could have done then, to be fair.
Pez, quick one. Tony Stewart's address, right, was Chat GPT, right? Let's make no bones about it. It was Chat GPT. Right.
Yeah, but honestly, as I said, Tom, so you're a fan, right? And I'm at the club, and I say to you, right, Tom, we've gone down, right? Do you think it's better for you that me, as a chairman, writes a letter to the fans, or do you think it's better that I don't say anything? What would your choice be as a fan?
Well, no, as a fan, I'd rather him say something, but they've definitely put in the key things on Chat GPT, hit enter, and then posted it out. There's no way Tony Stewart came out with that. The key words.
18% was AI.
Honestly,
18% of that letter were AI. Someone someone did a, you know how you can do an AI checker online? Well, someone's put it in, and 18% was written by AI, according to the website. So
There
if
you go.
if he has put it in AI, it's not his own words, is it? Some of
It's not his own
it,
words.
which
It's
don't
not.
mean oh.
It's
If it were his own words,
Well,
if
yeah,
nonsense.
it were his own words, 100%.
it
If it
should
was
be
his
zero.
own words,
Yeah.
if it was his own words, he'd go on BBC Radio Sheffield or face the camera or even do a voice
Yeah.
note.
Tom, to be fair, I do agree with that. Like, what? To be fair, yeah. When I asked you the question about should he have done something or shouldn't he done, I think if you'd have said he should have done something, but he should have done something live, I think that would probably be better for all parties.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
rather than go
100%.
there, he could have said, "I'm going on Radio Sheffield and I'll answer some questions." I agree with that.
We live in AI world now, don't we? We're artificial intelligence. It's so easy. It's going to take over the world. There's going to be no lawyers, there's no doctors, there's going to be nothing, right? And he's just used that. I'm telling you, that's what's happened. But anyway, come on.
Shelley, did go Scott was saying Dango coming? Also, look at some of the plays we've had. Maybe this season performance has given the mindset he needs to go. I don't know. I mean, this is another thing on Scott. We actually don't know what players he brings in and what players manager brings in. You know, I can guarantee that under Evans brought in Raggett, Evans brought in Rafferty, Evans brought in Kelly because they're Evans signings. But then, you know, I'd argue that Rod Scott has brought in a Johnny Marty. He has brought in Denzel Hall. So it's hard to know who he's brought in.
Sean McWilliams.
Yeah, Joe Powell, yeah. Danny, where's the wink about Warrior? I assume you're on about Mr. Bush. Yeah, he's, I don't know what he's doing to be fair. He just couldn't join, unfortunately.
I scored against Winkerbank.
Did you?
I did.
Lee Clark hasn't named any individual. He's been careful not to. And to be fair, I just wonder, because obviously Tiny were talking about Evans earlier and about Evans kind of got sacked because he came out and he named players who had not performed and not or made mistakes. And you're right, Lee Clark's not done that. He's kind of said it as it could be any of the players. So maybe that's something that Steve Evans needed to do next time. I don't know. Shelley, here's the thing though, the passion is there, but since he's coming, we haven't improved on the pitch. If anything, we've got worse, and that's what I actually agree with this. Now, I'm going to say this to you, Tom. Right? So I believe that knowing what I know now, right? If I could go back in time and go back to the game before the day after Peterborough, right? And I have the choice of appointing Lee Clark or keeping him at Hampshire, I'm actually keeping him at Hampshire. What's your thoughts on that, Tom?
What, Bez? What day was the Peterborough game, Bez?
Wednesday. Tuesday, weren't it?
No, what? Oh, right. No, I'm getting rid of my Hampshire. There's absolutely no chance. Look, Matt Hampshire, he has been complicit with with the coaching staff and the fitness idiots, right? The fitness idiots in the background. No, we had to change, Dave. We had to change, mate.
I know that. Look, it's more to the fact that I actually agree with Shelley there. Like, I think Lee Clark is actually made things worse. And like, at least under Hampshire, we wouldn't have gone like 3 games without scoring a goal.
No, because look, this was always coming, right? And it had to happen. Lee Clark is a better manager than Matt Hampshire, period.
Okay.
Right? And listen, he was given a nigh an impossible task to keep us up. If I thought you were talking about the Peterborough game was it January?
Yeah. No, the Peterborough game was the 5-0 defeat where he got sacked there after.
Yeah, no, but I thought you meant the Peterborough game in Jan.
No,
I'm not having Matt Hampshire. I'm not having Matt Hampshire. Not a chance. No chance. Not happening.
That's fair enough. Sometimes the players are that bad you can't improve them. Liam Richardson had 0 impact, yet it was a mistake to get rid of him. He would have got it right the following season. Right, let's break this down then. So this is where I actually disagree with a lot of people. So the first comment there is sometimes the players are that bad you can't improve them, right? And the proof, there's proof, or that the results recently kind of prove that theory. We've had 2 managers, and neither of them have got anything out of this side. So Tidy, right? We all said on here, and I think you did as well. Tom said it, I've said it, you've said it, Bushy said it, Pete said it, right? We've all said that we think this squad of players, if they were fully fit, was good enough to get in top 6, right? We've all said it, okay? So are you, Tiny, now changing your mind and thinking, actually, I got that wrong. I think the quality of this side is really poor, and therefore, it doesn't matter who comes in, you can't get a tune out of him. Or are you saying that the right manager would have improved this side?
Well, that's actually quite a tough question, to be fair, because on paper it isn't a bad squad, but what I'm putting it down to is I'm putting it down to the mentality. It's a squad who they'll roll over. They're not bad players at all, but they roll over, and that's what puts them away from a poorer player who doesn't roll over, who has that fight in him, who has that mentality. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna beat you. I'm not the best player, but I'm gonna beat you. Our players, I think a few of them think they're too good for this league. They roll over too easily, and I think there is only one man to blame for that. That's, I'm sure, is embedded in with losing mentality in many ways. By me, I'd probably say we're too soft potentially at times. He didn't ever once come out in an interview and said, "I've had players letting me down on day," etc. He never once said anything like that. Lee Clark, he will get an hell of a job to do with a squad of weak mentality players, not necessarily quality wise. It's like you've got 9 games to change your mentality of a squad that haven't done it for 39, 36, whatever it was at the time. So yeah, I sort of agree, but I sort of disagree because mentality is everything. You've got to have a winner's mentality in this game. You can have all quality in the world, but if you ain't got that mentality, you'll get nowhere in the game. Simple as.
Okay. So Tom, then. So again, you said just like me that this quality, these players were good. So do you agree with Tiny there, or do you think that you got it wrong and that some of these players aren't as good as you first thought?
No. And I quoted this the other whatever show I was on. I can't remember. And Steve Evans said this. The team with the effort will always beat the team with the ability, unless the team with the ability has the effort to match, right? And we had 0 efforts. We had the ability, but 0 effort. Rubbish training, rubbish coaching, rubbish physios, rubbish standards, rubbish everything, right? So listen, this lot, if you go to work on a Monday morning and you sat in a porter cabin, getting dressed in the porter cabin, going on to training pitches, having ice baths in wheelie bins, blah, 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 right? Why the hell are you going to up your standards? You're not. This lot of idiots, right, weren't bothered, right? They were just here because, like I said, it's not like myself, you, Bez, you, Tiny. If we have a day off work tomorrow from sickness, we get statutory sick pay, blah, blah, blah. These lot get paid no matter what, right? And the standards were that low in the bin, as it were, they weren't bothered. Yeah, you can have all the ability you want, but you've got no effort. What's the point? 0 point. 0 point. So it needs, and this is why I'm all for Lee Clark, to be honest with you, because he's calling these idiots out. He's now making them look bad. They look bad on the pitch. He's now making their character look bad. And you know what? Get rid of a lot of them. Tiny, what he said about Ted Can before, he was genuinely gutted about getting relegated. Fair play to him. Is he our number 1 goalkeeper next season? I hope not, but I still hope he's involved in the club. Do you know what I mean? So, Listen, if you've got the ability, you've not got the effort, piss off out the club. You can have all the ability in the world.
He's not best keeper by a landslide,
No, of course he's
but
not. Of course he's not.
he's pulled off some rate saves, to be fair to him.
Yeah,
Saying he's been sat on bench, he's been at Forest Green. You know what? Fair play, he's stepped up. All right, he's let a few stinkers in that he could have probably done better with, but he's got effort, he's got an heart. He knows where that badge is, and he cares about that badge. Probably because he's not got the options to go elsewhere, but at least he cares. At least he cares.
100%, mate. Okay. That's what it's about, isn't it? I'd rather have players that care. I'd rather have Jack Holmes next season, right? I'd rather have him in our team than Sam Nombe, right? That's where I'm going with this. I'd rather have somebody who wants to come on and play.
Okay, fair enough. Rate chuffed. McLaren has not only been a manager, assistant manager, he's also done jobs as a coaching consult, technical director, senior advisor, and backroom coaching staff. Probably been the cheerleader as well, yeah. And I think Danny, yeah. I think Danny as well. I think that's the reason why I do think it would be a good appointment, because he's got a lot of experience in different roles. And obviously, you know, if you've got experience of managing England, that's got to be valuable. Yeah. Well, yeah. Kelly, he was Tony Stewart's guest chat. Yeah, so talking about McLaren there. Pete's got times right with Michael Cheek, a good sign for League 2. He's here, Tiny. Kelly Ford spot on Nina. I don't know if I've missed something there. Big hole in the flame budget. I can't see like a comment from Nina, so I'm not sure what he's on about there. Shelley, what happened to Lino Souza? He played once and hasn't even featured in the squad since. Yeah, I've no idea, Shelley. As I've said before, we don't get a lot of information from the club, do we? Andrew, I reckon I could rip your team to pieces. Okay. I don't know who you are, mate. Okay. Shelley, you spoke about people being held accountable. Do you think he'll include himself in that? Lee Clark, maybe. But I think if he included himself in that, he would say that. I think he'd say, I include myself in that. So I don't think he does at the minute. Ian Besley, TS said nothing of any substance yesterday. He was the usual fake fob off. Yeah, I think that's what Tiny and Tom have said. Shelley, I'd rather him say, let's make amends next season for everything at it to win the league. Get fans on the side and make it reasonable instead of the same price as the price this season. But did he not say that though? Did he not say that they're going to try and win promotion next season? That's what I felt he did say that, to be fair. Let's talk about season tickets then for a minute, just while Shay's brought them up. So we were, I don't know, second or third highest in League One. There's no way it's going to increase, surely not, right? So my question is to you, Tiny, are you going to see a ticket regardless, or are you waiting to see what the price is? Because if it stays as it is, that's got to be the highest price by a country mile at League 2 level.
Well, it's on auto renew anyway, so I'll probably get one. I'll see what this season's like. If it doesn't improve, then we'll look at that next year. But yeah, for now, I'll get one. It's something to do on a Saturday. I mean, I'll probably not fulfill all 23 home games, but you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll get one anyway, but yeah.
To be fair, Tony, it's exactly what you just say is exactly the same as me. So auto renews, it makes it really easy, regardless of what the price is. What else could you do on a Saturday? Completely agree, and that's why I'll carry on getting one as well. To be honest,
see some new teams as well.
Yeah, well, again, I suppose that's a positive for like yourself, Tiny, because I imagine when we were in League 2 last time, you were probably too young to go, because it has been a good, 12 years. 12 years. And therefore, you will get a lot of new grounds, I imagine. Now, unfortunately for me, one of the new grounds that I was looking forward to are bloody Bromley, and they're going to go up. So we're going to miss them, unfortunately. Rach, if me and Tom on the same wavelength, Minute I retest it yesterday, I thought it was ChatGPT, and yeah, well, you two are mates, aren't you? So that doesn't surprise me, really. Shelley, you can see it now. The price will remain the same for a worse standard. A lot may not renew as it is. Sure, the last thing we need is lose more fans by pricing them out. Agreed. Sean, only 4,000 ticket holders at very most. I know loads aren't good. Yeah, and Sean, unfortunately, I agree. I think it'll be around 4,000. We've got 6.5 this year. I think 4,000 is probably reasonable. But if Rotherham are winning games, I do think so Rotherham's attendance will start quite low. Like you're looking at 6,000-7,000, I'm going to guess. Obviously, the away crowds is not going to be as high as well. But if Rotherham are winning games, they will start getting 8,000 and 9,000 as the season goes on. So I actually think if Rotherham win games, the average is still going to be 7.5. I just believe that. Only if they're winning games, though.
Can I add a point in here, Bez?
You can, yeah, go for it.
So my uncle has a Facebook page called Miller's Memories. It's run by Graham Barnes. He's my uncle, Barney. Somebody who post on there today saying, will you renew your season ticket? And it had a lot of comments. And I mean, a lot of comments of people saying, absolutely no issue. We'll be renewing our season tickets. So I don't know what to gauge from that. I mean, if I lived down there, I'd be in your two's boats. What else are you going to do on a Saturday? I would renew as well, personally. So, yeah, I mean, Bears, you'll be getting one, won't you? Obviously.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I mean, you know what? I'm thinking if we have a poor year next year, poor start, I'm just thinking what the attendances could be like when you get to around Christmas. Like, could we see as low as 3,500 potentially? All right, this could be 4.5 season tickets, but season ticket holders don't go. You don't sell many on day. This, that, and other. Could drop low this year.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, Tony, I agree, but I genuinely, I mean, I remember the minus 15 back in the day, and I'm going to say it now. I think we compete next season. If everything's right with everything that's been said at the minute, a massive clear out. I don't think we're going to run away with the league or anything like that. I genuinely think that we'll be in and amongst it. At least I hope.
I'd take 7th place. It's a playoff place. I'd take 7th place.
Yeah, fair enough. Top 6 not fair. So yeah, he's referring to when I made the comment about we originally thought these players would go for top 6. So yeah, probably agree with you now. YCC and IFC. Russ, Vez, you say we wouldn't have gone 3 games under Hanshaw without not scoring, but we went 9 defeats on the bounce under him. I believe we wouldn't go 9 defeats on the bounce under Clark without this victory. I mean, no, and Russ, I think that's a fair opinion, to be fair. I think look, I wanted Hanshaw sacked just like Tom did, just like Tiny did. I did want him sacked. But the point I was trying to make was, Stewart said in his his email, his letter, whatever you want to call it, that
ChatGPT.
Yeah, ChatGPT. He kind of gave an excuse as to why Hanshaw was sacked quite late on, because he said it costs a lot of money to get rid of managers. He actually said that, and to me, that's him saying this is why Hanshaw stayed in the job longer. That's what he's saying to me. And the reason I asked the question is because I actually do agree with what someone said earlier in the comments. I think that the performances have got worse under Clark. I really do. And the reason why I kind of challenged Tom to say, actually, I would have probably kept Hanshaw is because I honestly don't think we'd have got, I don't think we'd have lost like we did to Wigan. I'm not saying we'd have got anything from the game, but I just felt that apart from the Peterborough game, I felt we were at least normally in games. Obviously, the Peterborough game was a hammering. But, the Bolton game before, we had a good haul. We drew 2-2. I think if Lee Clark would manage that Bolton game, we lose 3-0. And that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that, because Clark's got an excuse that this is not his team, and he's got not even one player who what he's brought in. Whereas I'm sure, he brought in 90% of the players. So he should be able to get more out of him. And that's what I was trying to say anyway. But yeah, I respect your opinion as well, Russ. Shelley, 1,000% good enough. They've just given up. Some of them play that position. Here's a talking point. Do you think a few of we're scared of getting injured? Let's face it, we've been back injuries. Tom, I'll ask you that. Do you think players are scared of getting injured?
They don't need to be scared. It just happens, doesn't it? Because they're all injured. They're all a bunch of useless clowns, to be honest with you.
Well, what I would say, just quickly, I always find that if you go onto that pitch and you don't want to get injured, so that's in your head, you're more likely to get injured. Whereas if you go on the pitch and try and tackle and get stuck in, you'll not get injured because you don't when you half-heartedly going for a tackle, that is when you get injured.
It's true, but Bez, these won't even go for a tackle. I'm not even bothered.
Yeah.
They're not even bothered. None of them. Well, I can't even. Dan Gore, not ours. The rest of them, shite. Not bothered. Not bothered, Bez. I can't wait for this retained list at the end of the season.
Yeah.
We'll do a special episode on here, and we can go bye, bye. Off you do one. Bye.
I agree.
And you know what? Absolutely, I can't
Monday
wait.
transfer list.
Bye.
Crossed.
Bye, Sam. Bye, Sam. Bye. Honestly.
I'll tell you what, actually,
time wasters.
You know what? Ty's just reminded me of something there. So what about this then, just quickly, Sam Dombe. So Sam Dombe, technically, is not under contract because we've got an option. I would laugh my head off if we released him. Honestly, I'd laugh my head off. Because what a waste of £1 million that'd be. Anyway, Kelly Foremost, I'm sure Cole plays out chats and you guys slammed him for it. Did we? I don't think we did, Kelly. I can't remember us doing that. So I'm sure Cole. I mean, maybe Lee did. I don't know if Lee did, but I know I didn't. Maybe Lee did. I don't know. Did he call? Did he call plays out?
I can't remember, to be honest.
I thought we were all saying that we felt we wanted him to call plays out more. That's what I thought. Anyway,
wow.
If that's right, Kelly, you are right. That is inconsistent, but I don't remember us doing that really. If he's got agree with Tom, get the lot out. Glad Clark's called them out. Yeah, Shelley. We have lacked a real lead at the back there with some stability. Richard Wood type. We seriously missed a Terry midfield. Yeah, so basically, Shelley, we've missed our spine. Centre back, midfielder, and attacker. I completely agree. Sean, hope the club appoint Lee Clark. I like his style. He's not a yes man and speaks his mind. Give him a 1 year contract, see how it works. 90% of next season, the team will be signing. And yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, the way he does manage and the way he does call his players, I do like that as well. I'm just worried about his tactics and, how, if Neil Warnock would have come in with his coaching staff, I guarantee they got this team and not conceded any goals. I just know it. And I thought Lee Clark was going to do that, and he didn't. And that's what worries me about Lee Clark. Yeah, Shelley just got TS. In his speech, I meant, I don't know what you mean now, Shelley. There's also no way you can say £44 for technically a worse standard football. I think it could, though, Shelley. Do you also think that 3 season size will make a difference to people in renewing? Yes, 100%. I think that the appointment of the manager and the type of signings that we make will have an impact. Yes. Haddies are going to finish bottom at this rate. Port Vale winning. Yeah, I think
it's 3-1 now.
Yeah, I think Northampton will, because I think they're worse than Rotherham. Shelley and anything other than promotion Shelley season. I'll be honest, I didn't think I'd ever see secondary football again. Never crossed my mind. Okay. Agree. Shelley again. He would be the best striker in League 2. He'll not stay, though. She's on about Nombe there. So thoughts on that, Tiny? Shelley says that Som Nombe will be the best striker in League 2. And you and Tom have just said you can't wait to get rid of him.
Well, it could be, but what's the point if he's not going to put his mind to it? He's heartless, really. He don't care. What's the point in having players who don't care about club? there's the door. See ya. We'll get someone else in who wants to play for the club, who wants to play for Rotherham United, who wants to play for the fans, who wants to play for the manager. Not someone who cost a millions and just willing to walk about for 90 and get odd goal here and there, and against teams that were interested as well. But nah, I'd get rid personally. Because he don't care. He don't care what's wrong.
I mean, that's fair. Mark, hi, Plymouth fan here. Hope you get back up this season. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate your comments and appreciate you watching. Thank you. Clark has been brought in to make sure players leave. This is his remit. Same as Guy Megson at Forest. His remit was not chance for promotion. It was to get all the wage staff off the payroll. Interesting, okay. I can't remember Matt Hamshaw calling the players out. I thought he answered, yeah, that's what we were saying as well, Shelley. I don't think we picked up on that if we did. About him being held accountable, TS in his speech, will he take some of the blame? I don't think TS will ever admit to faults, to be honest. He's not that sort of person. And that's it for the comments. Now, what I'm going to do quickly is, because we have got a game, unfortunately, we'll just talk about this game for 2 minutes and then we'll end it there. So, quickly, Leyton Orient, 17th in league, the 4 points off relegation. We think they're safe. They scored 57. Now, interestingly, they've conceded the most goals in the league at 66. So you've got the worst goal scorers in the league, which is Rotherham, against the league's defence. So hopefully we get a goal for once. They've not won in 5 as well. Drawn 3, lost 2. They've obviously got a brilliant goal scorer. And I have to say, if it weren't that goal scorer who's got 22 goals, I think they'd have gone down Leyton Orient. That's important his kind of contribution has been. Tom, quickly, do you care about the game? Do you think Rotherham will win? That's all I want to
know. Do I care about the game? Do you know what? I feel for Leyton Orient for what we did to them all them years ago. What a cracking day out that was. Do you know what? Having said all that, 0-0. Sod it. Let's get a point. 0-0.
Okay. Tiny, 3 questions for you. Are you going? Do you care?
Yeah.
And what's your score for it?
So, first question, yeah, I'm going. Second
Tiny,
question, no, but we've got a boatload of ale, so we're gonna have a great day out. Good trip to London. Get absolutely shit-faced. Thirdly, you know what? I am back to win on here all season. We're already relegated. So you know what? I'm gonna go 3-0 Rotherham, and I'm not even taking Mick. Most Rotherham thing to do. I'm gonna go Jack Holmes to score, Cohen Lee to score, and Jordan Ugle. Why not? I'm gonna, you know what? Sticking a tenner on that. That'll return money.
I think you should. Yeah. I mean, I do know what you mean, though. It is the most Rotherham thing to do. That pressure's off. They'll honestly go and win the game. Only you can just see it. I mean, this is funny. This. Go on, Tom.
Can I just say, Tiny, right? Honestly, that is absolute dedication. Because
Tom. Is it dedication or is it stupidity?
Both.
It's all right. I don't want you up, Tiny. Anyway, so Ray Chuff, we'll win all our remaining games. Tiny, thoughts on that?
Yeah, probably will now, won't we?
Yeah.
Why not? Go on.
Yeah. In regards to the likes of Josh Benton or Richard Brown players, would you sooner have an average player who would give you 46 games a season than one in every blue moon in the likes of Benton? It's funny, actually, Russ. I was talking to a work colleague about this today. And look, we're not going to do it now because we're going to end of the show. And, at the end of this season, we will review the season gone. And we'll also preview the upcoming season and we'll go through what we would do. Now, I have to say, I would take each player, individually. So I'd say, right, this player, I would keep him, and if he gets injured, that's fine, but I'm willing to accept that. I think you can have players who are injury-prone in the club. Of course you can. The issue that Rotherham's got is you probably had 2 or 3 at most. We had 10, and that was the issue. Now, with Josh Benson, I think he's out of contract. I'll be honest, I would offer him a new contract. I think he'll be brilliant in League Two. And I think if Rotherham are winning games, I think you'll be amazed at how fit and available these players are all of a sudden because winning games. Tom, what are your thoughts? Just on Josh Benson, would you keep him and agree with me, or would you get rid because you want to get rid of every player, to be fair?
No, I'd keep Josh Benson because he's got that X factor in his locker, hasn't he?
Yeah.
The question is he going to be available? And the question is, this is how bad it's become. Is he going to be available, and will he want to play for us? So it's it's one of them, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm with you on that.
The thing is, I would say, like, you do look at the players on pitch and you can see the players who've given up. And I think Tiny's right. The thing with Nombe is you can clearly see he's lost interest. You can just see it. I actually went with Vincent. He looked like he did care a little bit to me. He did. Maybe I'm blind, I don't know. What about you, Tiny? Quickly, Vincent, are you keeping him or are you getting rid?
Keep him. You know what? Go on then. Yeah. We'll keep him. Give him a season again.
We'll win to Orient. Now we are doomed. And safe journey, Tiny. Yeah. Second that safe journey to you. Your mum's telling you to not forget your key, Tiny. Okay. Don't forget your key. All right.
All right.
Waiting for Tom to say we buggery. I don't know. Is that an in-joke between you and your friend?
I don't know what that is, Dave.
Right. Okay. Scott Kent, we've an option on Benson, so we've a chance for something real, have we? I didn't think we did have. I thought we had a 1-year deal, but if that's true, I would take it. I just read that one, and that's it. Right. So we'll leave it there. Again, I really thanks for we've got quite a lot of views again today after they kind of slipped off of the last 3 or 4 weeks. We're like on 200, so I really appreciate everyone who's watching. I've said before how difficult it is doing these podcasts when Rotherham are literally losing week in, week out, but it must be difficult for you guys to watch as well. So really do appreciate anyone who is watching us talk absolute nonsense. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I've said before, if you subscribe, you get notifications when we go live. We've got a lot of exciting things coming in summer for the World Cup. I know Tom is super excited for the World Cup, as am I. No, I'm not seeing that, Tom. We've got obviously the game on Saturday. Whether we do a live reaction after the game, I don't know. It almost seems a bit pointless now that we're down, but it's up to Lee. He might do one, he might not do one. Sunday, we've got Tom's show. Monday is Miller's Monday. So
everyone,
I know, yeah. Everyone, really appreciate it. Night, Russ. Thanks for joining us always. Night, everyone else.
See you, Russ.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Cheers.